Hey everybody, welcome back. Today I got a video packed full of good ideas for anybody living in an apartment that wants to make it a little bit smarter. In my last video on smart home, I broke down the categories of smart devices. Today we're going to cover specific devices that I've either used or personally I would recommend. We'll cover everything from smart plugs to security gadgets that are easy to install and best of all, don't require any permanent changes at all. With that, let's get going. In my last video, I explained that I felt smart security devices were one of the best purchases that you can make. These systems are perfect for people who want an extra peace of mind when it comes to securing their personal property. I kind of teased it in my last video, but the two products that I'd personally recommend are Ring Alarm or Simply Safe. The reason why both of these systems are great for apartments is they're easy to install as well as they're extremely easy to customize. It's very easy to add on additional door sensors, motion sensors, and so much more as you expand the system's capabilities. I say if you like simplicity and aren't interested in a ton of integrations with other devices, the Simply Safe is a really good option for you. At the time of this recording, they have an 8-piece kit on Amazon that's a little bit less than $200. With this kit, you get the alarm hub to arm and disarm the system. You get 4 contact sensors that you can use to monitor the state of windows and doors to see if they're open or closed. You get a motion sensor as well as you get a panic button, which is a little unique. Not all systems have this panic button. Next, you have the Ring Alarm. This is the one that I would personally go with. With Ring, you have 2 options as far as the overall system. There's one that's a little bit basic and more entry level, as well as they have a pro version. The main advantage of the pro version, it has the ability to cover larger homes, as well as it has a built-in eRow router. I would say for most apartment needs, the basic version should suffice. The basic system starts at $200. However, if you want an 8-piece kit similar to what I've mentioned with the Simply Safe, that one's going to cost you around $249. So going back to the basic kit, this includes a base station, a keypad for contact sensors, a motion detector, as well as a range extender. The range extender is a cool piece of equipment because it makes sure that all your devices can talk to one another throughout the entire apartment. At this point, you're probably asking yourself, is the Ring system worth the additional money? For me personally, I would say yes, and for a couple of reasons. The integration with the doorbell camera as well as the other cameras is really good with the Ring app. I also feel the system is extremely easy to use, and as far as system expansion goes, the system works with way more devices outside of the Ring interface than Simply Safe does. With Simply Safe, you do have the ability to use Amazon Alexa or Google Nest to be able to use voice commands to either arm or disarm your system. However, at the time of this recording, there's no integration with Apple or Apple HomeKit. Ring, on the other hand, works with a ton of other devices. They work with level door locks, they work with MyQ smart garage doors, they even work with Leviton, GE, and a few others as far as light switches. The nice thing with Ring is that it plays really nice with Amazon voice assistants, and with some additional hardware and software, you can get creative and actually get it to either work with HomeKit or Siri shortcuts. I will say to get this to work with the Apple ecosystem, it's definitely not plug and play. It requires some additional hardware, software, potentially a little bit of programming skills, but it is possible. I'll have links to both systems in the video description. I will say these are affiliate links. What that means for you is that if you click something, you like it, you make that purchase, I earn a very small commission. However, it does not cost you any additional money at all. That's going to be true to all the links that I leave in the video description for the devices that I'm covering in this video. Sticking to the topic of security, let's talk about video doorbells next. For apartment living, I highly recommend the Ring peephole camera. This camera is battery operated and it replaces your existing peephole that you have in your door. That means there's no need for drilling or wires. So this is one that I've researched, but I personally have not used. However, I've had over 2 Ring video doorbells in the past. I feel the doorbells are high quality. I love the app and I really think it's a strong brand. I've done some research and this peephole cam has excellent reviews. One thing I will say based off of having Ring doorbell cams in the past is by you not being able to hardwire this one, you do want to make sure you have some extra battery packs on hand. What this means is if your battery in your peephole cam gets low, with you having extra battery packs, you'll be able to take that battery pack out, swap it for one that's fully charged, and still keep your area safe and secure. As far as the overall installation goes, according to Ring, this should just take a couple of minutes. Now, me personally, I would suggest that you probably want to still reach out to your landlord and make sure you have permission to install this, because in order to put the Ring peephole cam in, you're going to have to remove your existing peephole. So there's a little bit of modification required to your current setup. The other reason why I like this camera is I think Ring has done a really good job in thinking about the overall design, because they still are allowing you to have your old school traditional peephole in conjunction with the smarts of adding the Ring camera system to it. What that means is if you want to see what's going on the other side of the door, instead of you constantly having to open your phone or fumbling with an app, you still can just walk up to the door and look through the peephole to see what's going on. Not all the other doorbells have this as an option. The other thing I like is if you're a person that receives a lot of packages, they actually have an adapter that goes in front of the camera that allows it to look downwards, so that way you can get alerts as far as package notification. Now, if you're not a fan of Ring, there of course are still other options. You can look at something like a Kara or Eufy. The reason why I still like the Ring is the overall way that the Ring mounts. I like the fact that a part of the doorbell is actually on the interior of the property. What that means is you're not going to be able to just simply walk up to it and yank it down. You could potentially get around this by not using adhesive. You may be able to essentially screw the doorbell in place, and that's going to require some additional modifications that you probably want to make sure you have the right approval for. In my opinion, overall, these just aren't the most secure mounting option. Now that we have the outside of the property secure, let's talk about some options to monitor the inside of the property as well. Luckily, there's quite a few options to pick from, and they're all at various price points. Some of the options that are a little bit more cost effective include the Wise Cam as well as the Blink Mini. I think these are really good options for apartments based off of the small footprint as well as ease of installation. A couple of things to note with these cameras is both of them require you to physically have the camera plugged in for power at all times. And in the case of Wise Cam, the camera recordings actually go to a SD card. So if you have multiple cameras, that's one other thing to think about as far as purchase, is you're going to need an SD card for every single camera. With Blink, you do have an option for local storage. However, that also requires the purchase of another module. That Blink Sync module allows you to connect up to 10 cameras at once. For an additional fee, Blink offers a cloud-based solution as well, and that opens up more options for what the cameras can do for you. This starts as low as $3 per month per camera, and then it goes up based off of how many cameras you have and what features you may or may not want. So far, if you're following along and you're going with the Ring recommendation I made for the video doorbell, you may want to stick with Ring as far as your overall camera ecosystem. Ring has a couple different solutions for indoor cameras that I think are worth checking out. To me, the only drawback to the Ring indoor camera is similar to the other ones. It does require to have it plugged in at all times in order to record. If you want to go with an option that is completely wireless, Ring still does have an option for you as well, and that's the pop-up camera. Downside is they're about twice as much, but there's a really good option if you have to have a camera in a specific area and there's really no good options to run power. As far as plans, Ring has 3 tiers: basic, standard, and premium. As you can imagine, they all start at various price points, and each one has a different set of features or a different set of cameras that you can connect to the system. I'll show a graphic here that kind of has the breakdown of how the tier system works with Ring, as well as what features you get with each one of these options. Bonus tip here is if you go with Ring for professional monitoring for your alarm system, then you actually get to include your cameras as part of one overall package. Okay, next we're going to move on and talk about smart plugs. I feel like this is one of the easiest and most affordable ways to make your apartment smart. These little guys can turn anything you plug into them into something smart. I personally like the Casa smart plug or the Leviton Decora smart plug, 2nd generation. By adding one of these smart plugs into your apartment, you're going to be able to do things such as turning on lamps, fans, or even a coffee maker by utilizing your voice or being able to go onto your phone. You can also start to run some very simple automations. As far as the plugs I recommend, I feel like both of them are equally as good, so I don't think you can go wrong with either or. I will say at the time of this recording, in order for the Leviton to work with as many platforms as possible, it does require you to do a little bit of a software update so that it works on the Matter platform. If you're looking for something that's a little bit more plug and play and ready to go out of of the box, then I think the Casa Link is a better solution for you. Next up, smart lights. With smart bulbs like Philips Hue or LifeX, you're going to be able to adjust the brightness and the color of bulbs without needing to rewire anything. They're perfect for either setting the mood or making the space feel a little bit more like you. The nice thing with bulbs is they're really easy to take with you when it's time to go. Just simply unscrew them, pack them up, and go. These bulbs work with Alexa, Google, and even HomeKit. They're versatile and extremely user-friendly. For an even more custom lighting experience, I really like Nanoleaf. They offer a bunch of lighting solutions for whatever space vibe you're going for. They have everything from warm and cozy to overall full-blown party mode and RGB galore. In the spirit of continuing to talk about saving time, let's next cover robot vacuums. In an apartment, a robot vacuum can be huge in being able to keep a space clean and not having to constantly lug a big vacuum around. The other advantage is you get to keep things clean even when you're not at home. I recommend the iRobot Q0120 or the Roborock Q5 vacuum and mop combo. Now the iRobot won't mop your space, but it cleans in a unique pattern to make sure the entire area is covered. It is lacking some features that you get at the higher price points. But again, it's a decent robot that's going to keep your space clean. At the time of this recording, the Q5 is $45 cheaper than the iRobot. With this option, you get a robot vac that actually still works with Apple, Amazon, and Google. This mop can create a space of your overall apartment, which will allow you to spot clean as well as vacuum or mop specific areas. Did I mention this little guy can mop too? Hopefully you're getting value out of this video and I've helped you find some really good smart device options to make your apartment smart. If so, do me a favor, like the video, share, subscribe to the channel so you can get more content like this. It doesn't cost you anything, but it means a lot to me to make sure that I know I'm providing value to the community that we're building. Next, I want to briefly cover smart thermostats. Now you might be wondering, can I even install a smart thermostat in my apartment? The answer is yes, I've done it before. This works if your apartment has its own HVAC system. A thermostat like the Nest thermostat or the Ecobee Lite 3 can really provide you a lot of control over your temperature as well as get you some energy savings. Both thermostats are easy to install and let you adjust temperatures from your phone or with a voice assistant. Plus they have energy saving features like economy modes as well as auto scheduling. For both of these, make sure you have permission from your landlord to be able to install them. If the thought of wiring scares you, you may still want to consider hiring a professional electrician to help you out with these installs. I'll include a link in the description to a video where I'll talk a little bit more about the benefits of smart thermostats. I also cover some tips on how you can save big money if you're looking to purchase one. So there you have it, the top devices I recommend for making your apartment smart. Whether you're looking to automate your lighting, keep things clean, or make things overall more secure, these devices are perfect for renters and easy to take with you if you need to. If you found this useful, make sure you hit that like button, subscribe, and share. Let me know in the comments if you have a favorite device or if there's something you want me to review in the future. Until next time. Now, if you're not a fan of Ring, there of course are still other options.